Hi, good evening, everyone, and myself. Today is 28th of January. It's weekend night Sunday. Tomorrow morning is a regular working day. Today is a weekend. Early in the day, I actually went to my regular uh, uh, dealers and see what they have for collection to buy. Now, I just recently started to go deeply and study about American banknotes, specific variation. So today I actually dig in very deep into my dealer's collections on American banknotes. Surprisingly, it's a very surprising thing to have that experience because normally when I get anything from them, they know their products. They know like Malaysia ringgit, Singapore, Taiwan, maybe a little bit Japanese. They know China. They know Europeans, Australians. They quite know a lot of banknotes across the world, even Canadian banknotes, Mexico. They know, but when it comes to United States banknotes, they were abyss. They were, in a way, I would say today my kind of trend of saying they're very blur. They don't know the specific banknotes in the variations, the which one is a normal banknote, which one is a very expensive banknotes. They know there is a the seal is different. They don't see the value of the signature. They don't see the value of the series, the variation and margins and etc. etc. Need I go on? They are very general on the knowledge of the knowing their product they're having and trying attempting to sell was very unknown to them. They're just really just selling it for what they feel it is supposed to be. So certain things that I got in value is worth the buck, a lot probably, and some may not be. They have something that they have that is valuable. Actually, they don't know the actual value, so they put the price extremely high, knowing that in the around my area, the that typical banknote, especially United States currency, is extremely rare to find or exchange with them, to deal with them. Um, as I know, it is true, very difficult for me. Even I have tried to start committing this year in my New Year's resolution um, to target American banknotes, especially at least the cheaper side of things, and few expensive ones. But mostly I'm trying to get the quantity at the beginning of this year, so that I have varieties of banknotes, variations for in my collection that are affordable and do not hurt my pocket as very badly. Some of my money that I skip lunch, sometimes skip breakfast, sometimes dinner. Most of those monies drive into my collection. I put it in my saving account, and some of it in my expenditure for my hobbies. So a vast majority of that money I proxy into buying American banknotes, Japanese banknotes, Chinese banknotes, specifically pre-communist and post-communist. Colonial Japanese banknotes I try to avoid unless they're very valuable. Then I would sort after to collect them. Those banknotes. One of the settings for this 2024, I try to avoid my own countries, my local currency, which is Malaysia ringgit. Uh, I'm trying not to pursue so much on that, which even though a lot of the oldest uh, banknotes in Malaysia and during British colony times, the colonial times, the federal Malayan states, Sabah and Sarawak, currency at that time during colony times. I put aside for this year because I knew that I wanted to get that, but because being in a local currency, the demand in my area, the dynamic is very uh, high. It's not cheap. It's very expensive. When you find something cheap, everybody is like a wild dog pack is trying to get one of those, and then it becomes a ballooned price. So in the principle of supply and demand, supply is really low. I could admit that, but they are quite constantly every week have somebody, one person coming out with that banknote. So every week there will be mad dogs going after those uh, notes, and most of the time I find it very disgusting. Is most of it, but I won't say it's disgusting. To personally, I might say it's disgusting, but to the outside or majority everybody, because currency buying is not just for collection or hobby, it's also for investment. Many a majority of this pack of people or pack of wolves, they are buying for the sake of investment, so they're willing to pay high, and they will keep it for at least 5 to 10 years and resell it unless they notice that season of the year uh, the price went up, volatility, whereas volatility is very high, it's very hot item, then they will release it and to the floodgate and try to sell their product with a huge profit margin. For example, one of the great example is Malaysia's 60 commemorative banknote for Yang di-Pertuan Agong, or Malaysia's king, for 60 ringgit, and also the Guinness Book of Record, the world's largest banknote, the 600 ringgit. Now, when you buy from the bank, the Bank Negara Malaysia, the National Bank of Malaysia, at the beginning the price was only at 2,000 to 3,000 ringgit. That is the value at that time. 5 to 6 years later, the price has jumped to minimum, at least minimum 15,000 ringgit, and vast majority last year it was a peak. A lot of people started to buy, and I think today, this year, with a hype in 2 days time, on the 30th of January in Malaysia, we're going to see Agong transition to the next state to taking over. As many people might know, Malaysia's king, the king of Malaysia, or Yang di-Pertuan Agong, is elected. Something like the Holy Roman Empire, but it's not elected for life. It is elected by term. So the term is up, like any general election. Any prime ministers or any government has a term limit, and once his last day for tomorrow, it will be his last day as the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. It will switch to another one of the Agong sultans in Malaysia. Malaysia has number of sultans, and the next one will be quite interesting because it is the Sultan of Johor, exactly next to Singapore, across the Singapore and Johor border. It's practically neighbor, and Johor Sultan is one of the most how do I say, outspoken. I won't say controversial, but he is a good man, a good sultan. He built he is a business to contribute to his country's his state economy in Johor, and also contribute a lot to his own citizen. It will be tough on corruption. That's a plus for this coming Agong. But he would be a very sensitive. I hope that he won't push the boundary of the legality of his position as a Agong. But many people have a lot of faith in him. Even myself, I have a lot of faith with this coming new Agong from Sultan of Johor. For the next 5 years, he will be very strong. He will be very tough on politician, and he will serve his people like like the people in Johor has benefited from his service to his country, his subjects. Now he will be serving all Malaysians, which is something I probably dreamt of seeing and live in that time for the next expiry, which will come this year in just 2 days. So I wish, in a side note, I wish them long live the king, and may he reign in peace and in glorious, I would say. Yep. Okay. Now, sorry. Okay. Now, today I bought some. I went through a lot of the banknotes, a lot of the currencies, specifically American bank currencies and banknotes. Not many, but they have quite a number of varieties, and I had to go through one by one quite in detail. But the price were quite similar across the board. Where some they are high, some are low. Some I benefited it, some I don't. Of course, my reference point will be from the World Catalog book for World Catalog book, standard catalog of world paper money. Normally, I have that book, and also have a electronic book of that to go through. So before I go through the American, I will just simply move on those that I've already know and collected it. This is the Japanese banknote. These are the previous edition, previous series. If I'm not mistaken, this is the E or D series. The serial number. The serial number is actually in green color, double prefix. I have a single prefix, but actually I have down two of these because my other one is quite bad condition, and I saw this one is in a better condition. It's not uncirculated, but in a good condition. Not only just that is repeated, is the green serial number and is double alphabet series. Even the bank statement here, I already have that one. I'm looking for actually the Oki rather than this one. This is the second. They have three variation of the printing bureau here. The big sign they call die. That is the first. This is the second, and then the third one is Nation Koku. Koku one is even the current one, and the coming future one will remain the same. They won't be changing this. Koku is the last one they change. This is second before they change to Koku, and before this one is called Great or Big, something like that. But yeah, I actually have this one already, so this was a better condition in my collection. So probably that one I would keep it because it's bad condition. I don't know whether I could sell it because at the moment it's still legal tender. People who doesn't collect Japanese currency may not value it as I do. So I'll be holding that, or probably I'll just give it away as a gift. I got it for 45. The dealer gave me a discount to 40 ringgit, which is okay because if I change this at money changer, it's about 32 ringgit. So he'll be making about what, like 8 ringgit out of me. So it's a fair game to me. It's 40 ringgit. He gave me 5 ringgit discount. So yeah, that is one. The other one I bought out of the blue, to be honest, is this. A Reserve Bank of New Zealand commemorating the millennium year 2000. $10. This note is legal tender. I thought this is not it's a funny or fantasy note based on how its design look, but there is a legal tender in New Zealand, $10. And of course $10 exchange rate is about $30 or 30 ringgit actually for $10. And then he put the price at 88 ringgit. What brought me this one, of course, is already circulated badly. As you can see how many under the light, you can see how many lines are there, how many folds. Polymer is the most sensitive one. Once it folds once, it's forever. The crease is forever. That is how sensitive in polymer. And it's polymer to be uncirculated is very, very difficult. It has to be really not used, and is really not uh, how do I say it? Not really not used and so forth. Now I noticed something here is that, see the line? This is short and then suddenly long. I don't know, probably somebody actually cut it. Okay, probably somebody actually cut it out. I'm not too sure, but it looks at the bottom. Yeah, it looks like the same issue. It went up. Probably it's a machine cutting is in such a way, the in printing process, but I don't know. It could be, it could be not. It could be, it could be not. It could be somebody actually cut it manually after received this banknote from a bank, probably. What attracted to me is the number BC 0000000040. You can see BC 00000040. Basically, this note is under pretext of BC, under prefix of BC. This is number 40 out of the sheet print for BC. Incredible, fine. I was considered very lucky. This note is actually considered in the general stockpile. It's not even in the specific albums of New Zealand. He just put it at a stockpile, like a generic banknotes, because it is so worn. The note is so worn, but at least it's so worn until the ink is not removed. Normally polymer, when they fold so much, the lines and the crease will be very visible because the ink has been peeled off from the plastic for the polymer. This one still retains it, even it's folded quite badly, but it still retains the majority of its paint. Now, you know, for example, here it is. If you can see it, it's turned white here. Yeah, because this fold is actually peeled off or have been stretched. The plastic or the ink has already peeled off, so you can see here it's peeling off. But looking at it, to me, I don't collect New Zealand very much. Knowing I see this is something unique because it's a commemorative banknote to the year 2000. Definitely I won't be finding this anymore unless it's in New Zealand, probably in uncirculated somebody's album or another dealers selling it, which can be very pricey, more than this 88 ringgit. The man gave me quite a good deal. Gave me 60 ringgit. That's quite a discount from 88 to 60 ringgit. It's worth it for 60 ringgit actually. So basically, from the currency exchange rate from 30 ringgit, I just pay him extra 30 ringgit for this note that is new. Possible you can get it from a normal bank or normal money exchange exchangers, because this is not a standard $10 New Zealand dollar. Okay, so and then having the serial number like this is very, very interesting. So I told him, how much is it? He charged me 60 ringgit, so I gave him 100 ringgit. How much is the return? Same as the banknote. What it is? Why? It says 40. So give me back my 40. We had a good laugh on this one. Yeah, we had a good laugh. So here another review closely. Can you see it? So it's a commemorative of New Zealand entering the year 2000. Right. Okay. Now we get to the American notes. So first one I got is I go backwards from the more current to the oldest one. I got this one, a silver certificate. They don't have all the regular notes, like they don't have those 1928 or 24. They don't have those kind of green stamp notes, green stamp and serial number in green color in a normal banknote. They quite uniquely, all those they have is pretty much above 1950. A lot of the dealers I find around in my area, I try to find as hard as I could, try to find out which one has a big amount of US dollar. Most of it are quite consistently same. They have the latest one, 2013, they have the 99, they have the 1996, they have the 1985, as early as only to 1988, 1988 when they, and also when I try, they have 1988 Series A. I got excited. Hopefully, it's a gamble, you know. I really, really wanted the specific note 1988 Series A. Although 1988 is the year I was born, but the A series is the one that I want to catch. I think most America will know. A lot of the those who collect American currency in America, especially Americans, know what is 1988 A series. There are one note in that year in that series is an experimental printing note. It's kind of eye-catching to spot. It's like a lottery to me, but sadly, they have the 1998 A series, but they are all regular printouts. They are just regular printouts, not the one that I'm looking for. So until I have that note, I won't be discussing that one so broadly. Yeah, so broadly. So this one is they have a lot is a silver certificate. They have the notes until even the oldest notes they have for until they even don't have $50 and $100. Forget about the 500 and 1,000 and 10,000. That's virtually out of their budget, and nobody's going to get that and sell it in the open market. It's too risky. So mostly probably some of that already in the hands of the private collectors, or virtually none. I will probably be the handful of the collectors here in my country wish to have that. Even I right now, it's impossible to get those kind of notes. It's a ridiculous amount of money to pay for it. But I try to collect those small denomination to have a lot of varieties, different years and so forth, to build up my portfolio, my collection before I jump up to probably $5, $10, $20, and then 50 and 100. Yeah. So trying to find the notes during the Great Depression time, trying to find the notes during the Second World War, like Hawaii or North Africa notes. Those notes are virtually none. They don't have that. They have the notes that is after the war, and probably very little after the they have notes like 1950, 1960, but all the way to 2013 they have. Most of my dealers have those notes, and they don't know how to value each one of them. Probably they don't know but they do know the star represents replacement notes. So even that, some replacement notes, some a district has different quantities. They do not understand that, so they sell it all in flat. They're all the same. They just double the price or triple the price. But some replacement notes in different division and specific year, their numbers are greater. That means they're worth less. Some of them, like Richmond, I heard like Richmond may print only less than 600,000 one of the specific year. That becomes more sought after replacement notes. Yeah. So for now, the oldest one that I could get from them before the Second World War is a silver certificate. So I'm pretty much quite content because I don't have much of the silver certificate myself either. At the moment, I have only two silver certificates, and they are pretty much in the 1957 and 1935, and nothing older than that. I don't have 19 older than this one. So I found it, and I did some study myself yesterday, a day before, trying to figure out what kind of notes that I try to remember. So I don't want to take out those information and show it to them, because I worry they might jump the price up if it's they know it's realize it's valuable. So I try to keep it in my hand, some things, but I will try to be honest with them what I want, and I tell them what is the price of that banknote. So this one is series 1935 H series. Nothing special, nothing special at all. This note is already had "In God We Trust." Now even that they don't know, that they don't realize this is important. Some notes, this is and then they don't understand what are the numbers here, and some of them might be very important, which we'll come to that later in my second note. One of the interesting I find this note is just a little bit that I would like to keep it as a souvenir and knowledge. Although it does not affect the value of the price of the banknote, because it's not really people want to have it, is this black line. I'm not too sure. Maybe some people may tell me more about it. This black line, I probably think it's the margin line. They're supposed to cut below this black line. That will show you the exact margin here to here. So probably this is already tilted, error cut or something, but the edge cut is here. Margin is bigger than here on the left to the right, small to big here. So that's why the line here is visible. I saw another one he had is there's another line here, quite odd. I just got this note, so I didn't really study what's this all about. Yeah, so I will study about it and let's figure out it. Okay, the other one, the last note that I bought for today is this one. Series 1935 D series, 35D series. Now I've heard in the catalog, based on the standard catalog for wallpaper money, which all starts with the registered number for PIC number. Of course, PMGs, all the graders, they don't use PIC for United States currency. They use a Filbert number, FR. They use Filbert number. Unfortunately, in my country, that book for the catalog for Filbert, the official one, is not available in Malaysia. In my country, in Malaysia, so no bookstores are able to buy and bring it into the country. I have to try and get it from overseas, or somebody would help me to get the book. At least I could have studied more further what are the varieties or variations in greater detail, and how many quantities are printed to justify the price. These are the things that I enjoy as a hobby, collecting banknotes. Now, what I've heard from the standard catalog from PIC is this is a variation, if I'm not mistaken, and then I look further just now at some of the old blogs from currency museum blogs in America. They have web page telling what is the difference in the series D, the white margin and a thin margin. A narrow margin, sorry, a wide margin and a narrow margin, type 1, type 2. This one I believe is type 1, wider. It's considered as a wider margin. If you can see, if I'm not mistaken, let me pull it up here to balance equal at the top first. You see that? You see that? The top is almost the same and the bottom is larger. They're not equal. If you can see at the one, you can see the one between the two, one and the border. If you can see that, yeah, I'm trying to focus there. You see the pattern of the guilloche print. This one has just one cross. This has number of cross, and the bottom has a ribbon. You can't see the ribbon here. This one you can't see a ribbon. This one you can see the ribbon. So to me, is a determined by looking at like that. It makes it my investigation, by my observation, I think this one is type 1, and according to the standard PIC, the value of this banknote is unknown. I think to me it is, so it's inconclusive whether it's high value or not high value. Is inconclusive. But most of the time, if the book if the book written in unknown, or just a dash between all the scale of the value of the price of this banknote and other banknote, is rather that it's a so little quantities that virtually none exist in the market, is very rare or extremely rare, we can't determine the price. Well, if that is how it looks, probably I'm very lucky. I would just say at the moment, very lucky to actually find this banknote. Uh, the dealer actually didn't know. He's a respectable man who has helped me looking for helped me look for Japanese banknotes. So once I bought it, I educated him, give him the information what to look for. He actually realized it when I tell him. He didn't know what it is. Wow, that really different. But he sell everything, actually everything at the same price. He was thinking that, oh, it's just the same year, 1935. He doesn't know the D and the H series kind of thing, so he thinks this is all the same. He sell at 58 ringgit. 58 ringgit. This one, the conditions are quite choice uncirculated, I would say. It won't be brilliant uncirculated, but in a standard of uncirculated. This in the dollar sense, when I look at the catalog, this in dollar sense is worth about, if I'm not mistaken, about $18. Convert to my currency. If it's $18, let's say $20. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's roughly about 100 ringgit. That's almost roughly 90 to 100 ringgit. I just paid 58 ringgit for this. Yeah, for the condition, there's supposed to be a margin of about 100 ringgit and above, because the book that I'm referring to, the price is quite outdated. A vast majority of it, I would say, not all, not absolute all, majority of the price from the book all have risen at least 20 to 30% from the book face value that's written on the book. Sorry. So in the book it says $18. It could go down to $15. That's about, even reaching at $15. It's still like selling around more than 60 ringgit. Almost close to 58. So he's selling me at this price. No matter how, I benefited. And then this, ridiculously, if this is true, when I look at eBay, they're currently selling this in about 300 or 400 ringgit. This is above $100. I look at the book, the uncirculated price is stated at 150. It stated 100. Sorry, it did not state, but the second time it was stated around that point of price. So I could say that this would be high price. At the moment, I don't know, so I refer to eBay's. Those have sold items on this one with this series, with this 1935D. They're fetching around $100 margin. $100, excluding mailing, packaging. Just the bid price or the sales of the price, they are selling around 100 USD. Of course, I do understand, with a pinch of salt in the so-called metaphor. I'm conscious that eBay is a bit more fluctuated compared to the floor market. You go to any convention stores and so forth. But this price, to be honest, if he understand what it is going on with this kind of type of wide margin or narrow margin variation, he won't be selling at 58. He will be probably selling 120 to 130 ringgit. So to me, it's already automatic. I feel is, if it's right, it will be above what I paid. So yeah, these are the banknotes that I have bought today. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. This is a better quality. This is a good serial number and two different variation in my collection for American banknote. It's a start. So yeah, that is all for today, and I hope that in a couple of days time there will be another banknote come, which is supposed to pair with this note, this dragon from People's Republic, from People's Bank of China, the 20 yuan for the Chinese New Year. Yes, I said last video, this is the year of the dragon, so they put the year of the dragon as a zodiac, the Chinese lunar zodiacs. They had a one banknote that is not true value, it's just a fantasy note, like the 1 million US dollar banknotes. They are printed in genuinely, but they are no value, they are not legal tender. And that note, I have seen it in and I bought it. Of course it's quite cheap actually, because it is no value. The banknote actually accommodate with this banknote together. So once I got it, I will shoot it into a video to let everybody have a look. So that is all for today of what I have as a new notes collection input. And I hope to, if I have time, I will just do a short recording of the next archive number 5 for banknotes from Korea, North and South Korea. Till then, thank you very much for if you like my records, I won't say desperate to present the world. This is my own personal record. Primarily I'm using that, but those of you, and I also like to share to the world what I have, and hopefully encourage others to start recording or do filming or whatever. You do not need to be a professional to do this kind of things. Not being a YouTuber, well, I'm not chasing to be YouTuber or monetize anything I have put up in YouTube. I'm gonna use YouTube as kind of my library for my archives of what my collection is, and also a place where I can share those archives to the world, and to give me comments if I'm right or wrong. Just give me thumbs up, whatever you want. Something to put it as a flexible place. So thank you very much for your time, and hopefully I'll see you again in the next video. Thank you.